Last year, the generative AI industry hit $110 billion in revenue. To put that in perspective, it's scaling 3 times faster than the internet's adoption rate. In 2023, the industry needed 180 days to add $1 billion. Today, it takes 48 hours. That growth has broken the physical grid for over half of all new electricity demand. This explosion in capital and energy signals the end of the chatbot era. The focus has moved from simple conversation to a deployment-focused economy. The scale of this investment marks a transition into an era where software performs actual labor rather than just answering questions, turning the end user into a manager of autonomous systems. This labor is performed by agentic frontier models.
OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Soul features an ultra mode, splitting into sub-agents handling parallel tasks simultaneously. Similarly, Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 5 engages directly with terminals and browsers, executing long-term plans without human handholding. This trio of leaders is completed by Grok 4.5, which early evaluation suggests matches the high-tier performance of flagship models like Anthropic's Opus. These models change the nature of work. Because the AI can now plan and execute its own steps, the user's job is no longer to type, but to supervise the machine's reasoning. If the AI is handling the heavy lifting, we have to ask, how do we actually interface with a machine that is already working on its own? The coding platform Cursor illustrates this shift. Using their mobile app, developers can launch agents that work in the background, sending a notification to the user's lock screen only when a pull request is ready to check and merge. Anthropic's latest data shows that AI has officially escaped the office. Usage is now spiked around habits like 3 a.m. sleep advice and gardening tips in the afternoon, tracking with people's lives rather than just their work hours. The traditional interface is fading away. AI is becoming an ambient layer of intelligence that we manage from our pockets, integrated into our 24-hour routines. Meta is currently developing an interface that seeks to remove physical barriers entirely by bypassing screens and keyboards. Their brain-to-QWERTY system uses a non-invasive scanner to read neural signals. An AI model then interprets those recordings, translating the user's thoughts directly into sentences on a screen. In recent tests, version 2 of this tech reached 61% word accuracy. This brings non-invasive brain-to-text systems remarkably close to the results that previously required surgical implants. We are approaching an era where human intent is executed with zero physical friction, enabling direct mind-to-machine communication. While the software feels weightless, the physical reality is anything but. These autonomous agents consume roughly 1,200 times more compute power than a standard chat response. Optimization is a high priority. Google's Nano Banana 2 Lite can generate images in just 4 seconds for fractions of a cent. But efficiency can't solve the problem of finite capacity. The limits of server hardware are already forcing hard choices. Recently, Alphabet reportedly had to throttle Meta's access to its Gemini models because it simply didn't have the spare capacity to meet the demand. This creates the central tension of the era. Our software ambitions are currently capped by the physical reality of the hardware. To navigate this hardware bottleneck, nations are aggressively decoupling to secure their own sovereign AI ecosystems. China is the prime example. Meituan recently debuted its Longcat 2.0 model, which was trained entirely on domestically developed chips to bypass U.S. export controls. As a result of this push for self-reliance, domestic Chinese AI chips are projected to control 80% of that country's hardware market this year. South Korea is responding with a $1 trillion investment plan, securing dominance in chip manufacturing and data centers to ensure survival in the AI boom. Strategic dominance now hinges on the physical ownership of these factories and power grids, as code becomes inseparable from the hardware that processes it. In the next 5 years, the clear winners will be the nations and entities that possess full-stack sovereignty, controlling everything from the silicon to the power generation. The losers will be the middleman software firms, relying on outdated interfaces, and businesses left entirely dependent on rival tech giants for their compute. Autonomous AI will unlock massive potential by erasing the friction of the interface, but absolute power will belong strictly to those who control the physical switches.